The new Schaff-Herzog Encyclopedia of Religious Knowledge writes, among the ancients, the name Scythian was a flexible designation, as was the Hebrew name Magog. According to early church interpretation, Gog and Magog are not human beings, but evil spirits, followers of Satan, who will rage and deceive the nations of humanity. These evil spirits will be gathered on Mount Megiddo, also known as Armageddon. Josephus, a Jewish historian, noted an assumption that the land of Magog is associated with the Scythian tribes in the northeastern regions of Europe and Central Asia. Classical Greek and Roman authors depicted the Scythians as barbarians from the north, who were fierce, warlike, possessing large cavalry forces, fully armed, and skilled in archery. The term Scythian may have originally referred to Ashkenaz, another descendant of Japheth. The Encyclopedia Britannica states that, throughout classical literature, Scythia generally referred to the entire region north and northeast of the Black Sea, while the term Scythians denoted all barbarians from these regions. In other historical accounts, the term Scythian encompasses nomadic tribes north of the Caucasus, the region between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea, similar to the modern use of the term Tatar. The new Schaff-Herzog Encyclopedia of Religious Knowledge writes, among the ancients, the name Scythian was a flexible designation, as was the Hebrew name Magog. Bible interpreters have a considerable task in understanding Gog and Magog. We cannot claim to add anything to their observations or resolve their debates. Gog appears to be the king, and Magog his kingdom. Thus, Gog and Magog are akin to Pharaoh and the Egyptians. Some interpreters believe that Gog and Magog are in very distant lands, such as Scythia, Tartary, and Russia. Others suggest that Gog and Magog are located closer to the land of Israel, possibly in Syria and Asia Minor. Ezekiel was appointed to prophesy against Gog and to declare that God is opposed to him. Gog. The Greek word Gog originates from the Hebrew Gog, spelled Gimel Vav Gimel, meaning mountains. In the Old Testament, this term is used as the name of an Israelite from the tribe of Reuben, the son of Shemaiah, and as the name of a king in the prophecy of the prophets who would come from the north to attack Israel.
Son of man, turn toward Gog, of the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. Prophesy against him. Ezekiel 38:2.
Magog. The Greek word Magog comes from the Hebrew Magog, spelled Mem Gimel Vav Gimel, a region north of Israel from which, according to prophecy, King Gog will come to attack Israel. This name is also used as the name of a descendant of Japheth in Genesis 10:2 and 1 Chronicles 1:5.
The sons of Japheth were Gomer, Magog Madai, Javan, Tubal Meshech, and Tiras. Genesis 10:2.
Magog, the second son of Japheth, possibly referring to a seafaring people. In the book of Ezekiel, Magog is depicted as an apocalyptic figure, representing a pagan nation from the north under the leadership of Gog, who invades Israel. Ezekiel's prophecy speaks of a storm-like attack led by Gog from the land of Magog, Gog Eretz Hamagog. Ezekiel names Gog as the leader of a hostile nation in the north. The forces of Gog are described as plundering horsemen, a vast military force with large and small shields and each wielding a sword. In Revelation 28, Magog is one of the nations gathered by Satan to attack the saints. Who are these nations? How did the early church interpret the figures of Gog and Magog?
Now, when the 1,000 years are finished, Satan will be released from his prison and will go out to deceive the nations at the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to bring them together for the battle. They are as numerous as the grains of sand in the sea. Revelation 20:7-8.
According to the verse above, Gog and Magog are deceiving nations from the four corners of the earth. And in verse 9, it says these four nations rise to the earth's surface.
They went up on the broad plain of the earth and encircled the camp of the saints and the beloved city. But fire came down from heaven and devoured them completely. Revelation 22:9.
Verse 9 states that the four nations from the four corners of the earth rose to the surface. implying that their place is below the earth. According to the Bible, it is Satan and his followers, the evil spirits, who are placed below the earth, not human nations. Thus, according to early church interpretation, Gog and Magog are not human beings, but evil spirits, followers of Satan, who will rage and deceive the nations of humanity. These evil spirits will be gathered on Mount Megiddo, also known as Armageddon.
For they are the spirits of the demons performing signs who go out to the kings of the earth to bring them together for the battle that will take place on the great day of God, the all-powerful. Now the spirits gathered the kings and their armies to the place that is called Armageddon in Hebrew. Revelation 16:14-16.
In apocalyptic prophecy, Armageddon is referred to as the place of assembly on the great day of God Almighty, mentioned only in Revelation 16:16. It is not found elsewhere. If Armageddon is merely a symbolic name, then its geographical accuracy is not of major importance. The location named Megiddo is actually not suitable to be associated with mountain, Hebrew har, since Megiddo is a valley, not a mountain. The battles in the valley of Megiddo, as referenced in 2 Chronicles 35:22, have witnessed significant conflicts from 1468 BC with Thutmose III to General Allenby's battle in 1917. The mountain of Israel became a witness to the defeat of King Gog. This is likely what the Apostle John recalled when describing the apocalyptic war of the end times in his vision. However, the designation mountain given to Megiddo indicates that it is symbolic. Thus, when John wrote of the mountain of Megiddo, it has no literal geographical location. The mountain of Megiddo should be understood in a spiritual and symbolic context. We cannot directly identify the mountain of Megiddo with any particular country, for there is no actual mountain named Megiddo. There is only a valley called Megiddo. Indeed, there will be a final battle at the end of times, but we should not forcefully associate it with a specific nation, as this is not what the Bible intends.